If you are here listening to these words, it's not by accident. The soul is not random, it is drawn by resonance. And so, if these words find you today, it may be because you, too, are beginning to sense something deep and undeniable, that this life is your final one, that the lessons have come full circle, and that your soul, having danced through many lifetimes, is now preparing for its last embrace with this earthly realm. You see, there are signs, subtle, sacred signs that appear when the soul is near the end of its karmic cycle. These signs are not loud. They do not shout, they whisper, they speak in dreams, synchronicities, inner urgings, and moments of clarity that seem to come out of nowhere. They ask you to wake up not from sleep, but from forgetfulness. Edgar Cayce, often called the sleeping prophet, shared that some souls reincarnate many times, learning, evolving, correcting, and remembering, but just a few are in their final journey. And those souls carry certain unmistakable marks. Today, I want to walk with you through these sacred signs, not just to inform, but to awaken the deepest remembrance within you. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young seeker named Aaron. He came to our monastery with many questions about the meaning of life, his place in the world, why he felt like a stranger even in his own family. One morning, just before dawn, I found him sitting beneath the Bodhi tree, eyes wide open, as if seeing for the first time. He said to me, "Master, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been here before, not just this place but this life, every joy, every sorrow, it all feels like echoes." I smiled and said, "Then perhaps your soul is finally remembering, and when the soul remembers, it prepares. So let us begin with the first sign. Sign 1. You've always felt different, even as a child. Not better, not worse, just different. Have you ever walked among a crowd, surrounded by others, yet felt utterly alone? As a child, perhaps you preferred solitude over chaos. While others sought noise, you sought silence. Where others chased approval, you searched for truth. And even when you didn't understand why, there was a quiet knowing in your heart that said, this world is not my final home. This isn't arrogance. It's not ego. It's the gentle recognition that your soul has outgrown the games and illusions of this realm. You are different because you are ancient. And that feeling, that ache of not belonging, it's a sacred sign the final soul often carries. An old spirit with a childlike heart. Sign 2. You are drawn to deep spiritual wisdom, not surface religion. Many follow rituals. Few seek the truth behind them. You, my dear one, are likely not satisfied with surface-level answers. You question. You seek. You read scriptures not for rules but for revelations. You may not have always been religious, but you've always been spiritual. Drawn to meditation, to energy, to silence. This is a sign your soul is nearing the final stages when it no longer seeks approval but alignment. Edgar Cayce often spoke of souls awakening to their original purpose, to know themselves as divine. If you feel the urge to strip away all outer identities and return to your essence, know this: the veil is thinning and your soul is ready to return to source. Sign 3. You've endured great suffering and transformed it into compassion. Pain is the purifier of the soul. Many suffer, but few allow suffering to deepen their hearts. If you have lived through trauma, loss, or betrayal, and instead of becoming bitter, you became kinder, then you carry the mark of a final soul. It is through suffering that we burn away the illusions of control. And when we surrender, we awaken. You have not suffered because you are cursed. You have suffered because your soul chose the fast path to awakening. And every scar you carry is not a wound, but a doorway. I remember a woman who once came to our monastery, heartbroken from the loss of her son. She sat with us in silence for days, and when she finally spoke, she whispered, "His death opened something in me, something that was asleep." From that day forward, she began feeding the poor, sheltering the homeless, and meditating in deep silence. She had transformed her pain into purpose. Such is the way of the final soul. Sign 4. You feel a pull toward simplicity and letting go. The world tells you to accumulate. You feel the urge to release. To simplify, to quiet your life. Perhaps you've started decluttering not just your home, but your mind. You no longer crave drama or attention. You crave peace, stillness, truth. This is the soul saying, I am preparing for my return. Those in their final cycle often begin letting go without knowing why. Old friendships fade. Material ambitions lose their flavor, and there is no sadness in this release, only peace. My friend, do you feel it? The quiet joy of simply being. That is not apathy, it is awakening. Monk pauses briefly. Gentle bell chimes. Let me leave you with this for today. You are not broken, you are blooming. If these signs resonate with your heart, then know you are remembering. The soul does not scream. It whispers. And today, it has spoken through these words. In our next conversation, I will share with you more sacred signs, how the soul speaks through intuition, synchronicities, and the deep sense of unfinished purpose. There is more to walk through. Together, let us continue this journey in stillness. In peace, stay tuned. You are not alone on this path. Remember, subscribe to walk the sacred path with me. Comment, I am ready for the next level. If your soul resonates, share this with a fellow seeker who needs this message. Let the journey continue. Welcome back, my dear friend. It warms my heart to know that you have returned, because only those who are truly listening deeply, soulfully listening, come back to a conversation like this. This is not the kind of dialogue that entertains the surface mind. It speaks to the ancient memory within you, a remembrance, a knowing, a truth that whispers, you have been here before, and now you are almost done. In our first conversation, we walked through 4 signs that your soul may be in its final life cycle. Signs of feeling different, being drawn to truth, turning suffering into compassion, and the deep longing for simplicity. But there is more to this sacred journey. The deeper we walk together, the more the veil lifts, and the clearer the soul's path becomes. Let us continue with the next sacred sign. Sign 5. You experience intuition as inner certainty, not guesswork. There was a time in earlier lives, perhaps, when you second-guessed your every step, chasing validation, searching for permission to trust yourself. But now, you may have noticed something has shifted. A knowing arises within you, quietly but firmly. Before you even hear someone speak, you can sense their energy. Before a choice is made, you already feel its outcome. And when others ask, how did you know? You smile gently, because you yourself can't fully explain. It is the voice of the soul, grown wise from lifetimes of trial and error. This voice does not scream, it speaks softly but clearly, and the more you listen, the more it leads you. Edgar Cayce said that the spirit is life, the mind is the builder, and the physical is the result. When you operate from spirit, when your choices rise from the intuition of the soul, your path begins to align naturally. In this final life cycle, the mind becomes a servant to the deeper knowing. You begin living not from thought, but from truth. Sign 6. Synchronicities are no longer random. They feel like conversations with the divine. Have you noticed how often things line up for you in unexpected, meaningful ways? You think of someone, and they call, you speak your desire, and the right door opens. You sit in silence, and the answer arrives. These are not coincidences, they are conversations between you and the universe, between the soul and the source. When a soul nears the end of its karmic journey, it begins to co-create in real time. Reality bends in subtle ways to reflect your inner truth. I once walked through the forest in silent meditation when I felt lost, spiritually adrift. I whispered a prayer to the wind, show me I am not alone. Moments later, a small deer stepped onto my path and paused. Our eyes met. No fear, only presence. Then it bowed its head, as if to say, we hear you. In that instant, I remembered, the universe is always listening. When the soul is ready, the outer world mirrors its inner clarity. Sign 7. You crave solitude, but not out of loneliness. Many people avoid being alone because they fear their own minds. But if you are in your final life cycle, solitude doesn't scare you, it nourishes you. You find peace in stillness, you find joy in silence. You understand that aloneness is not isolation, it is intimacy with the self. The old soul no longer needs crowds to feel validated. You could sit beneath a tree for hours, doing nothing, and feel complete, because you are not avoiding the world. You are merging with it on a higher plane. In our monastery, we have a saying, he who cannot sit alone cannot sit with God. And my friend, you sit well with silence because you have heard the voice within. Sign 8. You sense an urgency to fulfill a deeper purpose. It may not make logical sense, there may not be a detailed plan, but there is a fire in your spirit, a quiet urgency, not anxious, but clear. You feel that time is precious now. You are not here to waste your days in distraction or meaningless repetition. You are here to complete something. To offer your gift. To help someone to finish a cycle. This feeling is not pressure. It's sacred direction. Edgar Cayce described this as the soul mission, a final task, an offering that marks the end of earthly duties. And if you feel it stirring in you, if you feel like your life is meant to ripple beyond your body, then trust that call. You are here to plant a seed that may bloom in someone else's garden. Long after you are gone, soft music swells like a breeze moving through tall grass. My dear friend, let these signs not frighten you, but free you. For this life, this beautiful, sacred, fleeting life, is not the end. It is the flowering. And if these truths stir something ancient within you, if you have nodded in silent agreement with these words, then I say again, you are remembering, you are awakening, and you are not alone. Let us rest here for a moment in this stillness. In our next conversation, we will walk further into this sacred landscape. There is still one more sign to explore, perhaps the most powerful one, the one that completes the cycle. And after that, we begin our journey into how to live the final life with intention, devotion, and peace. How to walk not just toward the end, but toward liberation. So I invite you to return. Sit with me again, and let's walk this path side by side. We continue Stay connected, your soul knows the way. Before you go, like this video if your heart feels lighter, comment my soul remembers. If these truths resonate with you, subscribe for the next part of the sacred series. Share this message with a fellow seeker. Let the journey unfold. Welcome back, dear soul. You've returned again, and in doing so, you've reaffirmed something ancient within yourself, the pull toward truth, the call of remembrance, and the courage to walk the quieter, deeper path most never choose to tread. In our last conversation, we explored signs 5 through 8, the rise of intuition, the dance of synchronicity, the nourishment of solitude, and the inner urgency that whispers, you're here for something more. And now, beloved friend, we arrive at the final sign, the 9th and perhaps most profound signal that your soul is completing its karmic journey through lifetimes. Sit with me, breathe in deeply, let us journey inward. One more step, sign 9. You feel complete, yet detached from earthly attachments. There is a moment in the soul's evolution where it no longer seeks to possess, but simply to experience. No longer tries to control, but simply to witness. You may find yourself appreciating beauty without needing to own it, loving people deeply, without clinging to them. Enjoying life fully, without fearing its end. This is the sign of spiritual maturity, not disconnection, but divine detachment, a peaceful readiness, a kind of silent knowing that I have done what I came to do, and now I am free. I remember a dear elder monk who, in the last year of his life, would sit beneath a mango tree and smile at everything. At the leaves, the wind, the children playing, the dogs barking. One day I asked him, why do you smile like that every day, even when nothing is happening? He gently looked at me and said, because now I'm only visiting. He wasn't running from life, he was finally present in it. But he knew his time here was sacred and limited. If you feel this same kind of presence, a deep joy with no grasping, a contentment without expectation, a love that doesn't depend on return, then your soul has tasted what we monks call moksha in the living form, freedom not after death, but within life. And now, dear listener, dear seeker, dear soul on the path, having heard these 9 signs, ask yourself, not with fear but with openness, do I feel these in my bones? Do I recognize myself in these words? Am I living as one who is remembering, not just existing? You see, recognizing the final life cycle is not an ending, it's a sacred beginning. Because once you know, you can choose how to live, not to repeat karma, but to release it. Not to chase time, but to honor it, the transition from recognition to intention. Know that we've uncovered all 9 signs. Our journey must evolve. Page by page, chapter by chapter. We will now begin the deeper conversation. How do you live when you know this life may be your last? That is the question that sets your soul on fire in the quietest way. In the next part of our sacred dialogue, we will explore the principles of intentional living in the final incarnation. We'll discuss how to simplify, how to heal lingering soul wounds, how to leave light behind for others, and most importantly, how to walk the rest of this life in peace, without fear. This isn't about rushing to the end. It's about honoring the path, each step, each person, each breath as sacred. Your life is not just your story. It is a final message. Let it be a beautiful one. So breathe, smile, reflect. Let these truths ripple within you, and let your soul rest in the knowledge that you are walking home. But we are not finished. In our next conversation, we begin the sacred teaching on how to live your final life, not just with understanding, but with grace. With simplicity, with stillness. And with sacred purpose. I look forward to sitting with you again. Dear soul, your journey has just begun. Before you go, like this video if your spirit feels lighter, comment, I am ready to live my final life in peace. If this message moved you, subscribe so you don't miss the sacred teachings ahead. Share this with someone whose soul is quietly awakening. Walk in peace and return in presence. Until we meet again. You've returned once again, and for that, I bow to you, not with my hands, but with my heart. Because when a soul comes back to the path willingly, not out of fear, but out of devotion, that is the sign of awakening. In the last pages of our sacred dialogue, we explored the 9 signs that reveal whether this life may be your final incarnation, your last passage through the cycle of death and rebirth. But now, my dear listener, we begin a new phase. For it is not enough to recognize your final life, you must now learn how to live it with intention. So let us sit together again as teacher and student, as to reflections of the same divine truth, the art of living a final life. Chapter 1, Simplify to Sanctify. When the soul nears its final return to source, it no longer chases complexity. It craves clarity. You may feel a longing to detach from possessions, labels, arguments, even roles you've played your whole life. This is not escape, it is liberation. In my younger monk years, I once walked into the home of an elderly villager in Sri Lanka. He owned only 4 items: a bowl, a robe, a walking stick, and a book of prayers. When I asked him how he could live with so little, He smiled and said, because when I go, I want to leave like the wine, not dragging anything behind me. That moment taught me a truth I never forgot. Simplicity is not poverty, it is spiritual precision. The soul sheds what it no longer needs, like a tree lets go of its leaves when the season turns. So ask yourself, what are you carrying that does not belong to your final journey? What burdens, expectations, clutter, or identities are you still holding tightly? Let them go, not because you're giving up, but because you're finally coming home. Chapter 2, Sacred Closure, Healing the Unfinished. Ah yes, the final life often brings forth unfinished echoes from the past, old wounds that visit once more, not to punish you, but to set you free. Have you felt this lately? Unexpected grief? Sudden memories from childhood, deep sadness over people who hurt you or whom you hurt. This is the soul's final cleansing. Before it leaves, it wants to leave no door unknocked, no karma unaddressed, no love unspoken. In the monastery, we have a phrase: when the candle is near its end, the flame grows brightest. Your emotional intensity in this life might not be a burden. It might be your inner light trying to burn away the remnants of the past. So forgive them. Release them. Speak your truth gently. And above all, forgive yourself. Chapter 3, Be a beacon, not a hair. Many people think a final life must be marked with grandeur, that you must write a book, become a teacher, or lead a movement. But the truth is far simpler. In your last cycle, your greatest impact is not in what you do, but in how you are. A woman who tends her garden with love, a man who speaks kindness in a world of noise, a child who remembers their dreams and shares them with light. These are the secret saints. In your last life, it is not your titles that matter, but your presence. Be a lighthouse, dear soul, not running around, but standing still. Shining. Let others find their way through your peace. Chapter 4, Return to the now. Many in their final cycle begin to lose interest in planning the future. They are not lazy. They are awakened. They feel life in this very breath. They drink tea slowly. They notice the way sunlight paints patterns on the floor. They breathe before responding. They live in the sacred now, not because it is trendy, but because it is all that remains. I once asked an old monk what his biggest regret was. He said, all the moments I skipped over trying to get to the next one. Don't skip this moment, beloved one. You don't need to know what's next. Just be here. Fully. So, as we close this page of our journey together, I ask you, what can you simplify? What unfinished pain can you gently release? Where can you be a quiet lighthouse today? And how can you return to this moment, this breath, this now? You see, living your final life doesn't require new tools, only ancient awareness. And now that you've remembered, you're already walking the path. But the journey does not end here. In our next sacred chapter, we will explore the soul's relationship with purpose, how in your final incarnation, what you do becomes far less important than why you do it. We'll uncover the silent missions, the hidden callings, and the truth behind why certain people are placed in your life even now, not as accidents, but as sacred activators. So breathe with me, smile with me, and walk with me into page 5, where we discuss the sacred mission of your soul's last life. Your purpose is quietly calling. Reflect and remember, like this video if your heart feels a little lighter. Comment below, I am ready to walk in sacred simplicity. Subscribe to stay with us as this divine journey unfolds. Share this with a soul who needs this message. Until we meet again, walk slowly, breathe deeply, and know you are exactly where your soul is meant to be. You've come back. And that, dear soul, is no small thing. In a world so full of noise and distraction, it takes immense strength to return to silence, to return to wisdom, to return to yourself. Let us now sit once more beneath this tree of understanding and speak of things the world often forgets. You see, as we journey through the signs of a soul nearing completion, one truth becomes clear: the final life is not loud, it is luminous. And in this luminous journey, one sacred question begins to burn like incense in the heart. What is my purpose? Not the outer one the world gives you, but the inner one, the silent mission you were born to complete. Today, on this page, we will walk into the heart of divine purpose, what it truly means in your final life, and why it may feel so different from anything you've known before. Chapter 1. The myth of grand destinies. Many spiritual seekers believe their final life must be marked by something grand, changing the world, becoming a spiritual leader, writing sacred texts, or reaching masses. But let me tell you a story. In my early years in the monastery, I met an old monk named Don Apala. He had never traveled, never taught outside the village, never even spoken publicly, but every morning for 40 years, he swept the temple steps. One day, I asked him, why sweep so carefully when no one even notices? He looked up and smiled. Because the soul walking up these steps might be you, and I want your path to be clean. That was his divine purpose. Not in fame, not in recognition, but in quiet service. In invisible love, your final life's purpose may not look like the world expects. It may be simple, humble, even silent, but its impact echoes in eternity. So ask yourself, are you looking for purpose in applause or in alignment? Chapter 2, the gentle pull you keep ignoring. The truth is, your soul already knows its mission. It's not hidden from you. It's just been whispered so softly that you've missed it in the noise of trying to be someone you're not. In your final incarnation, purpose doesn't strike like lightning. It unfolds like a lotus, one petal at a time. Maybe it's the pull to write again. To sing like you did when you were a child. To care for animals. To help those in grief. To listen to people when they feel unseen. These are not hobbies, they are sacred instructions. If something brings you peace and makes others feel loved, that is not random, it is divine alignment. So I ask you, what has been quietly calling you back to yourself? Don't dismiss it, lean into it. Purpose isn't a title. It's a temperature. When your inner world warms, you're standing near your soul's fire. Chapter 3, healing through your mission in your last life cycle. Your purpose is rarely just about what you do for others, it's also about what you need to heal in yourself. There is a beautiful saying among Himalayan monks, your pain becomes your prayer. Many of us are drawn to missions that mirror our deepest wounds. The orphan who becomes a guardian to children, the brokenhearted who counsels others through love, the survivor who builds sanctuaries for the vulnerable. Why? Because healing is circular. What you give, you receive, and what you offer in love returns tenfold in freedom. So take your suffering not as a curse, but as curriculum. Your purpose often hides within what once broke you, not to remind you of pain, but to prove that you survived and now you serve. Chapter 4, serving without striving. Here is a paradox you must embrace in your final life. You are meant to serve, but not strive. You are meant to give, but not grind. You are meant to offer, but not overextend. The awakened soul no longer chases validation. It doesn't sacrifice peace for productivity. It simply shows up fully, wherever life asks it to be. I once met a woman in Nepal who simply sat at a temple door and smiled at every visitor. That was her only task. She told me, I smile because everyone brings their pain here, and I want their last memory before they enter to be gentleness. That's purpose, that's presence, that's power. You don't need to strive harder, you only need to show up softer. So now, dear one, as we close this page of our journey, I ask you these sacred questions. What purpose have you been chasing that no longer fits your soul? What gentle calling keeps returning to your heart? What part of your pain could become a healing path for others? How might you serve without striving? The final life is not about climbing higher, it's about going deeper. And when you stand rooted in who you truly are, you need not seek purpose, you become it. But we are not yet done. In our next chapter, we will step into the mysterious realm of soul contracts, the invisible bonds between you and those who walk with you in this final life. Why certain people test you, heal you, or awaken you, and what these connections reveal about your eternal path. So take a breath, place your hand on your heart, and trust you're exactly where the divine needs you to be. Reflect and remember, like this message if it brought you closer to your truth. Comment below. My purpose is my presence. Subscribe and join the soul family as we unfold these pages of sacred remembrance. Share this video with someone who is searching for meaning in the noise. Until next time, may your path be purposeful, your steps be soft, and your presence divine. Welcome back, my friend. You've walked with me this far, and every step you've taken has peeled back another layer of your soul. We are no longer walking through the world, we are walking through eternity, and what we speak of now is ancient. Today, we enter a sacred chamber of this journey, one that cannot be seen with the eyes, but only felt through the heart. We speak now of soul contracts, the divine arrangements your spirit made long before you were born into this body. Chapter 1. What is a soul contract in your final life? Relationships are not accidents, they are assignments. Every encounter, no matter how brief or long, holds a hidden agreement. Before we arrive in this life, the soul meets with other souls in what mystics call the Hall of Agreements. Here, you and others choose roles for one another. One will awaken you, one will wound you. One will love you unconditionally, one will abandon you to teach you strength. Another will stay by your side, lifetime after lifetime. Like a silent guardian, you may wonder, why would I agree to pain? But the soul does not seek comfort, it seeks evolution. The people who break your heart are often the ones who volunteered to do so you could rise into your full light. And when you begin to see every relationship as sacred, you stop asking, why did they hurt me? And begin asking, what did I ask them to help me learn? This is the language of awakened souls. Chapter 2. Recognizing the contracts in your life. There is no coincidence in your path. That friend you instantly connected with, that stranger who gave you advice you never forgot, that partner who shattered your illusion, that parent who challenged you beyond measure. Look again. Not with your memory, But with your soul, ask yourself, why did this person come into my life exactly when they did? What part of myself did they awaken or challenge? What karmic patterns might we be repeating? Sometimes the greatest spiritual tests come wrapped in love, and sometimes the greatest awakenings come wrapped in pain. In your final life, the veil thins and you begin to remember you chose this dance, even the difficult ones, especially the difficult ones. Chapter 3, Contracts of Awakening. Let me share a story from the monastery. A young monk named Surya once asked me, "Why does my brother cause me so much pain? Even though I love him deeply?" I told him this: some souls agree to challenge your peace, so you can find the peace that no one can take. Years later, that same monk became our monastery's most compassionate teacher. Because of his pain, because of his brother, because of the contract. In your last life, you will meet souls who seem to test your very limits, not to destroy you, but to reveal you. These are the awakeners, the ones who hold the mirror no one else dares to lift. Honor them, forgive them. Thank them. Even in silence, their role in your life is not to please your ego. It is to serve your soul. Chapter 4, Letting Go of Expired Contracts. But not all contracts are meant to last forever. Some people are with you for a season, to walk you across one bridge, then quietly disappear, and yet we cling, we beg. We mourn their departure as if it were a mistake, but the awakened soul knows release is part of the contract. Some goodbyes are sacred, some endings are written in the stars. If you feel someone's presence has faded, not in anger, but in alignment, allow it. Breathe. Bless them. And say softly in your heart, "Thank you for playing your role in my becoming. I now release you with love." This is how the soul honors the cycle. This is how the final life lets go, not in bitterness, but in balance. Chapter 5, Reuniting with Souls Across Lifetimes. Know. Here's something most forget. In your final incarnation, you often meet souls you've walked with before, a sense of déjà vu when you meet someone new, an instant connection, deep and unexplained, a knowing that goes beyond memory. These are soul recognitions. Some souls are part of your soul group. They reincarnate with you again and again, each time playing a different role. A parent becomes a child, a friend becomes a teacher, a former rival becomes a lover, and sometimes an enemy becomes your greatest ally. When you feel this knowing, honor it. You don't need to analyze it, just hold space for it. Speak gently. Listen deeply. The heart always remembers what the mind has forgotten. So now, I ask you to pause and breathe. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, who have I loved without reason? Who have I resented but still feel connected to? Who keeps returning to my life even when I try to walk away? Perhaps it is time to look not with the eyes of this life, but with the eyes of the soul. You are not alone. You never have been. You are surrounded by a constellation of agreements, some fulfilled, some unfolding, some yet to begin, but all are sacred. As we end this page of our conversation, remember this: in your final life cycle, your soul contracts are the blueprint. They shape your journey, mirror your lessons, and guide your return to wholeness. Every bond is a teacher, every goodbye a portal, every encounter a seed. And now, the path opens further. On the next page, we will explore how synchronicities, dreams, and inner signs begin to amplify as you near your soul's completion. These are not coincidences, they are divine nudges, messages that your soul is awakening to its final tasks, so prepare yourself. We are about to decode the whispers of the universe. The universe is speaking. Will you listen? Reflect and engage. Comment, "I honor my soul contracts." Like this video if you feel seen in these words. Subscribe to walk deeper on this sacred journey. Share this with someone you've always felt destined to meet. Until the next page, may you walk gently with the souls you've called into your life, and may every encounter be a mirror for your highest becoming. Welcome back, my beloved companion. You've stayed with me through many turns of this sacred path, and now we step into the realm where silence begins to speak, where the invisible becomes the guide. What we explore today is a language far older than words. It is the sacred language of synchronicity. And when you are nearing the completion of your soul's journey, that language grows louder, more frequent, more precise. These signs are not just spiritual coincidences, they are whispers from the divine, nudging you to remember who you are. Chapter 1. What is synchronicity? Synchronicity is not luck. It is not mere chance. It is alignment. Carl Jung described it as a meaningful coincidence, but to the awakened soul, it is a message. It might be a song playing at the exact moment you needed to hear it, a number pattern you keep seeing: 111, 444, 777, a stranger saying the exact phrase that answers the question in your heart. And in your final incarnation, these moments are not occasional. They are constant, because the veil is thinning. Your soul is attuned, and the universe is guiding you closer, always closer to your divine remembering. Chapter 2. The frequency of repetition. In my travels through sacred lands, I met a woman who was seeing 1111 every day for over a year. At first, She dismissed it, but then it began appearing in dreams on receipts. In random street addresses. It followed her like a quiet echo. So she came to the monastery. She asked me, "What does it mean? Why won't it stop?" I smiled gently and told her, "It's not a number. It's a door, a doorway between this world and the deeper one, a signal that you are on the threshold of awakening, that the illusions are falling away. These numbers are keys. Their repetition is not accidental. They are sacred time stamps, marking the precise moments when your soul is closest to truth. And in your last life, you become a receiver. You begin noticing what others overlook, and it begins to feel like the world is talking to you because it is. Chapter 3. The echo of the inner world. Synchronicity does not begin outside you. It begins within. Your thoughts are magnets. Your emotions are mirrors. Your focus, where your awareness rests, is the call the universe responds to when your heart begins asking deep questions. The outer world reflects them. Have you ever been silently thinking about someone, and they call you moments later, or pondered a decision, only to have the answer show up in a dream that same night? These are not anomalies. They are soul echoes. As within, so without. As above, so below. In your final cycle, your inner and outer realities begin to sync, not randomly, but rhythmically, because you are no longer asleep, you are listening. Chapter 4. Dreams, the soul's playground. Let me tell you a secret. When you are nearing the end of your reincarnation, your dreams become sacred letters from the soul. You begin to see symbols, ancient places, people you've never met yet know deeply. You may dream of falling endlessly, of flying over vast oceans, of speaking with beings of light. These are not mere dreams. They are visits to other realms, past lives, future echoes. A monk I once taught would wake nightly at 3:33 a.m. He said, "Master, I feel something is calling me." Then I replied, "Yes, that is not a disruption, it's an invitation." During those hours, your soul often leaves the body to receive guidance, to complete spiritual work beyond this world. Dreams are where the soul rehearses its awakening, where you remember what your waking self forgets. So do not dismiss your dreams, write them down. Honor them, study the patterns, because in them you are being shown the map of your becoming. Chapter 5. When the world begins to feel scripted, there comes a point in your final life where life itself feels orchestrated, perfectly timed, unfolding like a divine play. You meet the right people at the exact right time. A book falls off the shelf and answers the question you dared not ask aloud. A song you needed to hear begins just as you're about to give up. And the more you surrender to this flow, the more aligned life becomes. This is not fantasy. This is not a delusion. This is the divine algorithm, the sacred flow that only reveals itself when your soul is ready. The truth is, the universe has always been speaking. You were just finally ready to understand its language. So, now I ask you, what signs have been following you lately? What symbols or dreams keep repeating? What coincidences feel too aligned to ignore? These are not puzzles to solve, they are breadcrumbs leading you home. Trust them, follow them. Bow to them, because when synchronicity becomes your compass, you're no longer wandering. You're being guided. You are not lost. You are being found, and each sign, each whisper, each coincidence is your soul leaving you messages in the sand of time. Next, we will explore how the illusion of time collapses as you approach soul completion, revealing glimpses of your eternal nature. Reflect and engage. Comment, "I listen to the whispers of the universe," like this video. If signs have been appearing in your life, subscribe to go even deeper into your awakening. Share this with a soul who needs to hear these words. Until the next page, may your path be lit by signs only your soul can read, and may each step bring you closer to remembering why you are here. Welcome back, dear one. By now, you may have begun to notice your reality is no longer bound by the rules others live by. And that is no mistake. When you are in your final life cycle, time begins to bend, not in grand, dramatic ways, but in the subtlest moments. The kind that makes you pause and whisper, something is different. Chapter 1. The illusion of time begins to break. Time, as we understand it, is an agreement, a human construct to measure the immeasurable. But to the soul, there is no past, no future, only now. And when you are nearing the end of your incarnational journey, that truth begins to seep through the cracks of your awareness. You begin to feel memories not yet lived. You sense events before they happen. You meet someone for the first time, yet feel like you've known them across lifetimes. Time doesn't move forward anymore. It folds in on itself, revealing echoes, visions, and déjà vu as messages from your higher self. This isn't madness. It's awakening. Chapter 2. The soul's memory surfaces as your spirit prepares to graduate from the cycle of rebirth. Your soul's memory awakens. And with it comes a beautiful, sometimes overwhelming experience. You begin to remember without trying. You remember places you've never been. Languages you've never studied, yet feel familiar. Customs, smells, sacred chants that feel like home. I once met a young man in Thailand. He wept upon entering a temple he had never seen before. He looked around in silence and whispered, "I've prayed here 100 times." He had no explanation. He wasn't raised in this culture. And yet, his soul remembered what his mind could not. That is what happens when you're at the end of the journey. The veil between lives grows thin, and your past selves come to sit beside you in the quiet. Chapter 3. Time speeds up and slows down. Another sign of the nearing end is the fluidity of time. Some days pass like minutes, others like eternities. This fluctuation is not a result of external events. It is a reflection of internal alignment. When you're doing something deeply purposeful, time vanishes. When you're stuck in resistance, time stretches like a lesson. You begin to notice that the soul's clock runs not by numbers, but by growth. The soul does not care how long something takes, only that it is understood. So if you've ever felt like your life is speeding up, or that important moments keep returning in patterns, that is the soul calling you into stillness so you can hear what time cannot say. Chapter 4. Past, present, and future. Merkathir is a moment in deep meditation, a very specific moment when all your timelines collapse into one pulse. It's not something to force. It's something that comes in quiet surrender. In that state, you realize that everything you've ever been, everything you're becoming, and everything you are exists in one sacred breath. I have sat in such stillness before. In a cave high above the snow lines, wrapped in robes, surrounded by the hum of the earth, and there, for a brief eternity, I was all of me. Not the monk. Not the child, not the elder, but the eternal presence behind them all. This, too, will happen to you, perhaps not in a cave, but in your own quiet way. When the soul is ready, and when it does, you will understand that you have never been separate from your future or your past. You've only been asleep to their oneness. Chapter 5. Why time breaks down before liberation. Let us ask, why does time dissolve near the soul's completion? Because time is the great teacher. And when the lesson is learned, the teacher bows and walks away. If you are noticing more coincidences in timing, if you feel disconnected from the need to rush, if you sense that every moment is layered with meaning, then you are shifting from human time to divine timing. And that is a sign you are remembering your soul's real home. The monk pauses beside the koi pond, watching the ripples dance like waves in time. He looks to the camera, eyes soft but clear. Beloved seeker, you are not late, you are not early, you are exactly where you need to be. And when you trust that, time becomes your companion, not your captor. Next, we will explore the deep soul fatigue that arises in the final life, why you feel old even when young, and how to replenish your spirit during your last incarnation. Reflect and engage. Comment, I trust divine timing. Like this video if you've ever felt out of sync with time. Subscribe to walk this awakening path together. Share this with a soul that feels they were born out of time. Until we meet again, breathe deeply, be here fully, and remember this moment is eternal. You have returned once more. As the stillness of your soul deepens, as the veil between lifetimes grows thinner, there is a sensation many of you feel, one that words rarely capture, but the heart knows well. It is the feeling of soul exhaustion, a sacred fatigue that lives not in the body, but in the very fabric of your spirit. Chapter 1. The weariness of the ancient soul. This kind of fatigue is different. It's not solved by rest or sleep. No vacation can touch it. No distraction can silence it. Because this is not a tiredness of muscles, it is a tiredness of returning. You've lived, died, wept, built, broken, and healed again and again across thousands of years. And now your soul whispers, I have walked enough circles. I am ready to spiral upward. The old karmic loops no longer entice you. The dramas of the world lose their flavor. You no longer crave the noise because you've danced in it for lifetimes. This is the weariness of the final round, not a curse, but a quiet sign that you are ready to come home. Chapter 2. Loneliness as a sacred signal. With this fatigue comes a deep, aching loneliness. Not because you are unloved, but because your soul remembers what it is like to be whole. In the final life cycle, you may feel like no one fully understands you, even in a crowded room. You sense your energy moving on a different frequency, and here's the truth, you are not imagining it. You've lived so many lives, your frequency has become finely tuned, sensitive to truth, allergic to pretense. This loneliness is not a punishment. It is a preparation, a sacred clearing, so you may finally learn to walk with the divine within. And when you embrace that solitude, it transforms into a sanctuary. Chapter 3. The loss of worldly desires. Another sign, the material world begins to lose its hold on you. Things you once chased, status, money, approval, recognition, begin to feel hollow. You do what you must to live, but your joy no longer comes from what you own. It comes from what you understand. I remember an elder monk I met in Sri Lanka. He was once a wealthy merchant. One day, he gave everything away without reason. He simply said, none of it felt real anymore. That is how it begins, the great unbinding, not out of disdain for the world, but from finally seeing through its illusion. You don't stop loving life, you just stop clinging to the illusions you mistook for meaning. Chapter 4, the craving for deep rest. In this final life, you may long for a kind of rest you've never known. Not the rest of the bed, but the rest of the soul. You may find yourself longing for quiet places, simple routines, deep silence. This is your soul craving stillness after 1,000 storms. It knows it's nearing the summit, and it no longer wishes to be distracted by noise. Even in youth, you might feel old. Not in a way that slows you, but in a way that makes you wise beyond your years. You're not tired of life, you're tired of lessons you've already learned. And so, you simplify, you cut ties with chaos, you walk away from what drains you. This is the soul-conserving energy for the final ascent. Chapter 5, restoring the soul through presence. So how do we restore a soul that is weary from lifetimes? The answer, beloved seeker, is not in doing more. It is in being more. Being present, being quiet, being open to what is. Presence is the medicine of the final life. In it, the soul finds rest, not in escape but in surrender. Go to nature. Sit under trees. Let sunlight kiss your skin without rushing. Breathe, not just to survive, but to remember. In stillness, the soul begins to hum again. It realigns with the eternal rhythm beneath all chaos. You are not broken because you are tired. You are remembering how much you've carried and finally choosing to lay it down. Sacred reflection before we pause. So, if you feel the kind of weariness no sleep can fix, if your spirit longs not for stimulation but stillness, you are not fading, you are blooming inward. And the deeper that fatigue reaches, the closer you are to the core. This is the sacred sign of arrival. Next, we will explore how your inner compass shifts completely in the final life. You no longer chase purpose but embody it. We will look at signs that you are now being led by the soul's deepest wisdom. Reflect and engage. Comment, I honor my soul's tiredness. Like this video if you've ever felt ancient inside. Subscribe for the next page of sacred insight. Share this message with someone who carries quiet strength. Until next time, let the soul rest, let the world turn, and know you are on the final path home. Welcome back, dear traveler. In the last page, we spoke of soul exhaustion, the sacred fatigue of an ancient spirit ready to move beyond old cycles. Now, we turn to a subtle but profound shift that occurs in your inner compass, a shift so gentle it often goes unnoticed, yet it changes everything. Chapter 1, the inner compass recalibration. You are in your final life cycle. Your purpose no longer feels like a goal to reach. It feels more like a state to embody. You don't chase meaning anymore, you are meaning. The things that once seemed urgent fade away. You stop asking, what should I do? Instead, you begin to ask, who must I be? This is the shift from doing to being, from striving to surrender. It is a quiet but powerful transformation. Your soul aligns not with external achievements, but with inner harmony. Chapter 2, listening to the soul's whisper. At this stage, the loud noise of the world becomes background static. Your spirit learns to listen deeply to the faintest whispers inside. These whispers guide you. They nudge you toward what truly matters. Maybe it's kindness, maybe it's forgiveness, maybe it's compassion for yourself and others. When your soul speaks, it rarely shouts. It murmurs softly like a breeze through autumn leaves. Learning to hear this whisper requires patience. Practice quiet moments without distraction or haste. Meditate. Walk in nature, breathe deeply. Chapter 3, living from the soul's wisdom. When you trust this inner voice, your life begins to flow differently. You start making choices that feel right rather than right now. You say no more easily to things that drain you, and yes more freely to moments that nourish your spirit. This wisdom may look like simple acts, sharing a smile, forgiving a past hurt, helping a stranger, or simply resting when your body calls. The ancient monk I once met told me, every small act of presence is a seed planted for eternity. And so, in your final cycle, it is not grand achievements but simple, soulful living that marks your path. Chapter 4, recognizing the teachers in your life. You may notice the appearance of unexpected teachers, people, experiences, even challenges that come to guide you gently. Sometimes these teachers are disguised as obstacles, painful moments that push you to grow beyond old limitations. Other times, they are wise friends or strangers who reflect your highest potential back to you. Every interaction is sacred. Every encounter holds a lesson meant only for you. This sacred dance of teaching and learning is a sign you are near the end of your karmic journey, where every experience is carefully designed to awaken you further. Chapter 5, the call to serve quietly. As your inner wisdom deepens, you may feel a strong but quiet pull toward service. This is not the service of accolades or fame, but a humble offering of your presence to the world. Whether through listening deeply to a friend's troubles, volunteering your time, or simply radiating calm in a chaotic space, You begin to embody the principle that true spiritual maturity is found in giving without attachment. Remember, beloved soul, your last life cycle is not a burden but a gift, a sacred opportunity to live fully, to embody wisdom, love, and peace in every breath. Sacred reflection before we pause. So, as you walk this path, ask yourself, are you listening to your soul's quiet voice today? Are you honoring the subtle wisdom that guides your choices? When you do, you step more deeply into your truth, preparing for the final great awakening. Next, we will explore the profound shifts in relationships and attachments as you move through your last life cycle. We will uncover how love transforms and prepares you for the soul's ultimate freedom. Reflect and engage. Comment, I am listening to my soul. Like if you've ever felt your inner compass shift. Subscribe for the next sacred lesson. Share this with a soul seeking gentle guidance. Until then, trust your inner whisper and walk softly toward the light within. Welcome back, dear friend. As we journey deeper into the wisdom of the last life cycle, we arrive now at a transformation that touches the very heart of human experience. Our relationships, the ties that once bound us in complex webs, begin to loosen, and a new understanding of love emerges. Chapter 1. The changing nature of attachments. In the final cycle, you may notice a subtle, yet profound change, a release from the weight of attachments. Not because you no longer care, but because you begin to see love with different eyes. The bonds that once felt like chains now feel like gentle threads, delicate, yet unbreakable in their truth. You stop clinging to relationships out of fear or need. Instead, you embrace connection from a place of freedom and acceptance. Chapter 2. Love becomes unconditional. This is the time when love sheds its expectations. It no longer demands, controls, or fears loss. You learn to love without grasping, to give without expecting return, and to forgive without forgetting your own worth. I remember a story from my own path, a time when a dear friend betrayed me deeply. In my younger years, this would have ignited anger and pain. But as my soul matured, I saw that forgiveness was a doorway. It freed me, not them. In your last life cycle, forgiveness becomes a sacred practice, not just for others, but for yourself as well. Chapter 3. The wisdom of letting go. You will also feel the call to let go, not just of people, but of old roles, identities, and beliefs. This letting go can feel like loss, yet it is liberation disguised in disguise, like the autumn leaves falling to nourish the earth. Your release makes way for new growth, for a love that is deeper and more authentic. As you shed the old, your relationships transform. You attract those who resonate with your true self and gently release those who no longer serve your soul's journey. Chapter 4. Embracing solitude as sacred. In this stage, solitude is no longer a punishment but a blessing. You may find comfort in being alone, not from loneliness but from a profound sense of peace. It is in solitude that you meet yourself fully. It is where your soul sings its purest song. This sacred solitude prepares you for the final reunion, the merging of your spirit with the divine. Chapter 5. Relationships as mirrors. Finally, you begin to see every relationship as a mirror reflecting back your own soul's lessons. Every person you encounter teaches you something essential about yourself. This awareness turns even difficult relationships into opportunities for healing and growth. You no longer judge or resist, but observe with compassion and curiosity. The monk's eyes gleam with quiet joy, his voice soft and inviting. Remember, beloved traveler, your last life cycle is a sacred dance, a delicate weaving of love, release, and reunion. Sacred reflection. Before we pause. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, how are your attachments transforming? Are you ready to love without chains, to forgive freely, to embrace solitude as a friend? These questions guide you toward the soul's deepest freedom. Next, we will explore how your relationship with time itself shifts, and how embracing impermanence opens the door to profound peace. Reflect and engage. Comment, I am ready to love freely. Like if you've experienced love's transformation. Subscribe for the next sacred insight. Share with someone learning to let go and love. Until then, may your heart open gently and may your soul find rest in the dance of connection. Welcome back, dear seeker. We have journeyed through the evolving nature of love and attachment. Now, let us turn to a profound awakening that comes in the final life cycle, your shifting relationship with time itself. Chapter 1. Time as a teacher, not a taskmaster. In youth, time often feels like a relentless taskmaster, a scarce resource to be raced against and conquered. But in your last life cycle, time reveals a new face, that of a gentle teacher guiding you toward presence. Instead of fighting time, you begin to flow with it. You learn that time is not something to control, but something to embrace. You slow down, you savor moments once overlooked. Chapter 2. Embracing the present moment. This shift invites you into the sacredness of now. The present moment becomes your sanctuary. The past no longer haunts you. The future no longer worries you. Only this moment, radiant and alive, In your last life cycle, mindfulness is not a practice, but a way of being. The monk I once met long ago taught me a simple truth: wherever you are, be there fully. When you are fully present, time expands and the richness of life unfolds. In every breath, Chapter 3. The illusion of hurry. You begin to see how much of life was spent in hurry, a hurried mind, hurried steps, hurried decisions. This hurry is born from fear of running out of time, of missing out. Yet, in your final cycle, you learn the paradox: by slowing down, you gain more time. Like the river that carves the mountain, patient presence shapes your journey more than frantic haste. Chapter 4. Living with intention. Time's new rhythm calls you to live with intention, to invest your energy only where your soul is truly drawn. Every choice becomes sacred, every moment an opportunity to align with your deepest values. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes to what truly matters. This clarity brings peace, reducing the chaos that once filled your days. Chapter 5. Preparing for the final transition. This evolving relationship with time also prepares you for the ultimate transition, the peaceful release from this life cycle into the next great adventure. When you embrace impermanence fully, fear dissolves, acceptance blooms. You come to understand that life is a series of moments, each precious and fleeting. As Edgar Cayce said, our task is not to add years to life, but life to our years. Remember, beloved soul, time is your ally, not your enemy. When you flow with time, you flow with life itself. Sacred reflection before we pause. So, as you walk this path, ask yourself, how do you experience time? Are you rushing or are you present? Are you living with intention or caught in distraction? The answers guide you deeper into your last life cycle's sacred rhythm. Reflect and engage. Comment, I choose presence. Like, if you felt the power of living now, subscribe to continue this sacred journey. Share with those seeking peace in a busy world. Until then, may each moment cradle you in calm, and may your soul dance freely with time. Welcome once again, dear traveler of life's mysteries. We have just explored your evolving dance with time. Now, let us turn our attention inward to the blossoming of a profound inner peace that marks your last life cycle. Chapter 1. The awakening of inner peace. In earlier cycles, peace may have seemed elusive, a distant shore just beyond reach, but as your soul matures, peace becomes your closest companion. It is not something to be chased, but something to be uncovered within. This peace is not silence alone, but a steady calm beneath the storms of life. Like the deep ocean beneath restless waves, it is vast, unwavering, and deeply nourishing. Chapter 2. Cultivating stillness amidst life's chaos. Life does not become easier, but your response to it transforms. You learn to create stillness even in the busiest moments, through breath, mindfulness, and intention. I recall a time in my early years of monastic life when the temple grounds buzzed with the noise of a festival, yet within my heart, I found stillness. This stillness became my refuge, my sacred space where clarity and calm thrive. In your last cycle, cultivating this inner sanctuary is essential. Chapter 3. The power of acceptance. Inner peace grows from the soil of acceptance. Accept what you cannot change and focus your energy on what you can. Acceptance does not mean resignation, but a wise acknowledgement of reality, which opens the door to freedom. Like the river that flows around stones, you learn to adapt and move gracefully through life's challenges. Chapter 4. The gift of compassion. Peace is deeply connected to compassion both for yourself and for others. As your awareness expands, judgment softens and a tender kindness takes root. Compassion becomes a healing balm, mending wounds left by the past. The more you extend compassion, the lighter your spirit feels. Chapter 5. The practice of daily mindfulness. Peace is not a single moment but a daily journey. Simple practices like mindful breathing, gratitude, and gentle reflection anchor you to peace again and again. Even 5 minutes of mindful presence can transform your day. It is in these small acts that the seed of lasting peace grows strong. Remember, dear one, peace is your birthright. Though the world around you may shift and sway, your inner peace remains steadfast. Sacred reflection before we pause. So, as you continue your journey, ask yourself, how do you cultivate peace within? Where do you find stillness amid chaos? Are you practicing compassion for yourself and others? These reflections will guide you deeper into your sacred last life cycle. Next, we will explore how your intuition sharpens, guiding you like a lantern through the final chapters of your life. Reflect and engage. Comment, I embrace inner peace. Like if you seek calm in your daily life. Subscribe to walk the sacred path with me. Share with those longing for peace. Until then, may your heart rest gently and may peace be your faithful companion. Welcome back, cherished seeker. Having embraced the blossoming of inner peace, we now turn to another profound sign of your final life cycle, the awakening and sharpening of your intuition. Chapter 1. Intuition as your inner guide. In earlier chapters of life, intuition may have whispered softly, easily drowned out by the noise of the mind and outside distractions. But in your last cycle, intuition emerges as a powerful, clear voice, a trusted lantern lighting your path. This is not mere guesswork, but a deep knowing that transcends logic. Chapter 2: Learning to listen deeply. The world around you may offer many voices, opinions, advice, fears, yet your soul calls you to quiet the mind and listen deeply within. This stillness is where intuition speaks, often through subtle feelings, dreams, or sudden insights. Recall a moment when a quiet nudge inside prevented a misstep or led you toward a blessing you hadn't anticipated. These are the gentle urgings of your awakened intuition. Chapter 3: Trusting your inner wisdom. One of the greatest challenges is learning to trust this inner guidance. Doubt and fear can cloud your clarity, but through practice and patience, trust grows. The monk once told me, "Your intuition is the voice of your soul. Honor it as you would an old friend." When you follow this guidance, life's complexities begin to simplify. Chapter 4: Intuition and decision-making. In your final cycle, decisions often feel weightier, more significant. Your sharpened intuition helps you discern the best path beyond surface appearances and external pressures. This wisdom guides you toward choices aligned with your highest good. Remember, even small decisions shape the quality of your journey. Chapter 5: Nourishing intuition. Day little. Strengthen this sacred connection. Cultivate practices that nourish your intuition. Quiet meditation. Journal your thoughts and feelings. Spending time in nature's embrace. Honoring your dreams and reflections. These acts open the channels for intuition's voice to flow freely. Intuition is your soul's compass in these final cycles. Cherish it, listen to it, and let it guide you gently forward. Sacred reflection. Before we pause as you continue on this path, ask yourself, how often do you listen to your inner voice? What quiet messages have you been overlooking? Are you nurturing the trust your intuition needs to flourish? These reflections will lead you closer to your soul's true direction. Next, we will delve into how your dreams transform, becoming gateways to wisdom and healing in your final life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, "I trust my intuition," like if you value your inner guidance. Subscribe to continue walking this sacred path. Share with those seeking their true direction. Until then, may your inner light shine clearly, and may intuition be your faithful companion. Welcome back, dear friend. We have journeyed through peace and the awakening of your intuition. Now, we explore a sign both mysterious and deeply profound: the transformation of your dreams. Chapter 1: Dreams as sacred messengers. In the last cycles of life, your dreams become more vivid, meaningful, often carrying messages from the deeper layers of your soul. Dreams are no longer random images, but sacred messengers guiding, healing, and revealing truths like whispers from the unseen. They nudge you toward understanding. Chapter 2: Recognizing the patterns. You may notice recurring symbols, themes, or feelings in your dreams. Pay attention. These patterns are the language of your subconscious, offering clues to unresolved emotions or spiritual growth. For example, a dream of water may represent cleansing and renewal, while flying can symbolize freedom and rising above challenges. Over time, these symbols become keys to unlocking your inner wisdom. Chapter 3: The healing power of dreams. Dreams can be portals of healing. Nightly, your soul processes the day's experiences, weaving a tapestry of understanding and release. In your last cycle, this healing deepens. Old wounds, regrets, and fears arise in dreams to be transformed, freeing you from burdens that no longer serve your spirit. Chapter 4: Dreams as guidance. Not all dreams are puzzles. Many are clear beacons. Some offer direct guidance on life's questions. Others provide comfort during times of uncertainty. The monk would remind me, honor your dreams as conversations with your higher self. Writing them down, reflecting on their messages, and seeking patterns enrich your journey. Chapter 5: Cultivating dream awareness. Deepen your connection with your dreams. Create a peaceful bedtime ritual. Keep a dream journal by your bedside to meditate on your dreams upon Wikingisk for clarity or guidance. Before sleep, these simple acts invite wisdom to flow through your night. Your dreams are not mere shadows, they are vibrant, living parts of your soul's last great journey. Listen to them with reverence. They hold keys to your growth, your healing, and your awakening. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, ask yourself, what dreams have lingered in your heart? Have you noticed messages or patterns? Are you willing to embrace your dreams as guides? These reflections will prepare you for the deepening journey ahead. Next, we will explore the awakening of your deeper purpose and how it shines brighter in your final life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, "I honor my dreams," like if you cherish the wisdom of your dreams. Subscribe for continued guidance on this sacred path. Share with those who seek healing through their dreams. Until then, may your nights be peaceful and your dreams be full of light. Welcome once more, dear traveler. As we have journeyed through peace, intuition, and dreams, We now step into a realm that many overlook: the awakening of your deeper purpose. Chapter 1. The calling of your soul in the last life cycle. Your soul's purpose becomes clearer and more urgent. It is no longer about external achievements, but about serving your highest truth and the collective good, the monk often reminded me. Purpose is the flame that lights your way when the world grows dark. Chapter 2. Recognizing your true purpose. At this purpose may reveal itself in small ways: a desire to help others, a calling toward creativity, or a deeper yearning for connection. It may feel like an inner fire, a pull that you cannot ignore, even amid life's distractions. You might notice an increasing sensitivity to the needs of those around you. This is your soul preparing to act in alignment with its greatest intentions. Chapter 3. Overcoming fear. To embrace purpose. Fear often rises as a barrier: the fear of failure, of judgment, or the unknown. But remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward despite it, the monk shared. Each step toward your purpose is a victory over fear. Chapter 4. Living purposefully. Each day in your final cycle, every action becomes meaningful. How you spend your time, who you surround yourself with, and the intentions you set each morning all become expressions of your deeper purpose. Mindfulness transforms these moments into sacred rituals. Chapter 5. The ripple effect of purpose. When you live aligned with your purpose, you become a beacon, inspiring others to awaken their own paths. Your journey impacts far beyond yourself, touching lives in ways you may never fully realize. This interconnectedness is a profound gift of the last cycle. Your deeper purpose is awakening. Now listen closely to its call, trust the path it lights before you, and move forward with intention and love. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect deeply. What stirs in your heart? As your true purpose, what fears might you release to walk more fully into this calling? How can your daily actions reflect the light of your soul? Let these questions guide your next steps. Next, we will explore the profound shifts in relationships and connections in your final life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, I embrace my purpose. Like if you feel called to live with intention. Subscribe to walk the sacred path together. Share to inspire others on their journey. Until we meet again, may your purpose shine bright and your heart be steady and strong. Welcome back, beloved seeker. We have walked together through awakening purpose, and now we turn to a sign both tender and transformative: the profound shifts in relationships. During your final life cycle, Chapter 1, the evolution of connections. As you near this last chapter, you may notice that your relationships begin to change. Some grow deeper, blossoming into soulful bonds, while others gently fall away, no longer aligned with your true path. This natural process is not loss, but sacred refinement, clearing space for what truly nourishes your spirit. Chapter 2. Letting go with grace. Releasing relationships that no longer serve your growth is an act of courage and love. It can be painful, yet it is necessary to protect your energy and focus. The monk taught me to hold on to what dims your light is to deny your own becoming. Letting go is not rejection but liberation for both you and the other. Chapter 3. Deepening sacred bonds. At the same time, some relationships deepen, rooted in mutual understanding, compassion, and shared purpose. These connections become sources of strength and joy, supporting your journey and reflecting your truest self. In your final cycle, you learn to cherish these rare and precious bonds. Chapter 4. Embracing solitude and connection. You may also discover a new balance: comfort in solitude alongside meaningful companionship. Solitude becomes a sacred space for reflection, healing, and renewal. The monk often reminded me, in solitude, the soul whispers; in connection, it sings. Both are essential as you move forward. Chapter 5. Practicing compassion and forgiveness. Restoring relationships require compassion for others and, most importantly, for yourself. Forgiveness frees your heart from burdens, allowing love and peace to flourish anew. The journey of healing relationships is a vital part of your last life cycle. Remember, beloved one, relationships are mirrors reflecting your growth, your challenges, and your healing. Embrace this evolution with an open heart and a calm mind. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, ask yourself, which relationships are uplifting your soul? What ties might you lovingly release? How can you nurture deeper, more authentic connections? Let these reflections guide your interactions. Next, we will explore how your relationship with time itself transforms in this final life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, I honor my connections. Like if you value growth through relationships. Subscribe for more wisdom on this sacred path. Share to support others navigating their relations. Hips. Until next time, may your heart be open and your connections be blessings. Welcome back, dear friend, as we continue this sacred journey. We now delve into a subtle yet profound transformation: your changing relationship with time itself. Chapter 1. Time as a teacher. In your last life cycle, time begins to feel different, not a relentless taskmaster, but a patient teacher. The hurried rush of earlier years softens, and moments stretch with new meaning and clarity. The monk shared, "Time is a river, not a race. To flow with it is to find peace." Chapter 2, Living in the Present Moment. A key lesson emerges. The power of the present moment grows stronger. Instead of dwelling on past regrets or future worries, you learn to immerse fully in now, the only true place where life unfolds. Mindfulness becomes not just a practice, but a natural state of being. Chapter 3, Reclaiming Time. You begin to reclaim time as your own, choosing where and how to spend it with intention. This might mean simplifying your schedule, saying no to distractions, and honoring your need for rest and reflection. The monk often reminded me, to own your time is to own your life. Chapter 4, The Gift of Stillness. In this cycle, stillness becomes a precious gift. Moments of quiet, sitting with your breath, watching a sunset, or simply being recharge your soul and expand your awareness. These pauses are not emptiness but fullness, spaces where healing and insight blossom. Chapter 5, Time and Legacy. With the awareness of time's fleeting nature, you naturally begin to contemplate legacy. What do you wish to leave behind? What seeds of love, wisdom, or kindness will you plant? This reflection inspires purposeful living, turning ordinary moments into sacred acts. Time is not your enemy but your closest companion. Now, embrace its lessons gently and with gratitude. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect quietly. How do you experience time in your life today? Where might you invite more presence and stillness? What legacy do you feel called to nurture? Let these reflections deepen your journey. Next, we will explore the awakening of gratitude and its transformative power in your last life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, "I embrace the present." Like if you seek peace with time. Subscribe for more sacred wisdom. Share to inspire mindful living. Until we meet again, may your moments be rich and your heart be still. Welcome back, cherished soul. As our path unfolds, we arrive at a luminous sign, the awakening of deep gratitude. Chapter 1, Gratitude as a way of being. In this last life cycle, gratitude moves beyond a mere feeling. It becomes a profound way of being. The monk often said, "Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the sacred." When you begin to see life through the lens of gratitude, each moment becomes a gift. Chapter 2, Finding Gratitude in Small Things. 7, The smallest experiences. The warmth of sunlight, the taste of fresh water, the smile of a stranger become sources of thankfulness. This practice nurtures your soul and anchors you firmly in presence. The monk shared a simple story. He once found joy just in the sound of rain, reminding him that gratitude is always available, even in the quietest moments. Chapter 3, Gratitude Heals and Opens the Heart. Gratitude has the power to heal wounds, soften anger, and dissolve resentment. It opens the heart, inviting peace and compassion to flow freely. As your last cycle unfolds, you may notice gratitude naturally arises, even for challenges and hardships. Chapter 4, Cultivating a Daily Gratitude Practice. Monk encouraged a daily ritual. Each morning or evening, quietly list 3 things you are grateful for. This simple practice rewires your mind toward joy and contentment. Gradually, gratitude becomes an undercurrent in your life, carrying you through both light and shadow. Chapter 5, Gratitude as a Path to Connection. When you live in gratitude, your connection to others deepens, appreciation becomes a bridge, strengthening relationships and fostering kindness. The monk reminded me, to give thanks is to recognize the sacred in every soul. Gratitude is not just a response to life, but a key that unlocks the richness of your final cycle. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, ask yourself, what blessings can you see today? Even if they seem small, how can gratitude open your heart to healing? In what ways can you express appreciation to yourself and others? Let these reflections fill you with grace. Next, we will explore the profound transformation of your inner peace and its lasting power. In your last life cycle, reflect and engage. Comment, "I choose gratitude." Like if you feel the power of thankfulness. Subscribe for ongoing guidance on your sacred journey. Share to inspire hearts around the world. Until next time, may gratitude be your guiding light and your heart ever open. Welcome once again, dear traveler. As our sacred path unfolds, we arrive at a powerful sign, the blossoming of inner peace. Chapter 1, The Nature of Inner Peace. In your last life cycle, inner peace is not just a fleeting feeling, but a deep, abiding presence within. The monk taught me, peace is not the absence of storms, but the quiet center within the whirlwind. This peace becomes your sanctuary, a refuge no external circumstance can disturb. Chapter 2, Letting Go of Resistanzione. Of the greatest gifts of this cycle is the release of resistance to change, to loss, to uncertainty. Instead of struggling against what is, you learn to accept and flow with life's unfolding. This surrender does not mean passivity, but wise, compassionate engagement with reality. Chapter 3, Meditation as a Path to Peace. Daily meditation anchors this inner calm. The Monk shared, in stillness, you meet your true self. By observing your breath, your thoughts, and gently returning to the present, you cultivate a peace that endures beyond the meditation cushion. Chapter 4. Peace amidst life's challenge. Even when faced with pain, grief, or uncertainty, this inner peace remains a steady flame. It does not erase hardship, but it softens its impact and teaches resilience, the monk once said. Peace is the heart's armor that shields us without closing us off. Chapter 5. Spreading peace outward. This peace naturally flows outward, touching others through your words, actions, and presence. Your calm becomes a balm for those around you, inspiring others to seek their own stillness. As your last cycle deepens, you become a living testament to peace's transformative power. May your heart carry this peace always, like a quiet flame glowing steadily in the night. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect now. Where do you find your moments of peace? How might you cultivate greater acceptance in your life? In what ways can your calm presence uplift others? Let these questions guide your soul. Next, we will explore the awakening of wisdom and its guiding light in your last life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, I embrace peace like if you seek calm amidst chaos. Subscribe to walk this path of peace with us. Share to bring calm to the world. Until next time, may your inner peace shine brightly and your spirit be serene. Welcome back, beloved seeker, as we continue this sacred journey. We now turn to a profound awakening, the awakening of wisdom. Chapter 1. Wisdom as the light within. In this final life cycle, wisdom no longer comes solely from books or teachings, but from deep within, through lived experience and reflection, the monk would say. True wisdom is the quiet voice of the soul, speaking softly beyond words. It is the light that guides you when the path is unclear, a steady flame in the darkest night. Chapter 2. Embracing life's lessons. Each joy, each sorrow, every encounter becomes a teacher, offering lessons to shape your understanding. Wisdom grows not by avoiding pain, but by embracing life fully, allowing each experience to deepen your insight. The monk shared a story of a withered leaf that, instead of resisting its fall, danced gracefully to the earth, reminding us that surrender is itself a form of wisdom. Chapter 3. Listening to the heart's guidance. In your last cycle, the heart speaks louder, and you learn to trust its gentle nudges. The monk taught, when you listen to your heart, you hear the wisdom of your true self. This intuitive knowing often transcends logic, leading you toward your highest path. Chapter 4. Living with compassionate wisdom. True wisdom is inseparable from compassion. It softens judgments and fosters understanding. As you grow wiser, you begin to see the interconnectedness of all beings, how each action ripples through the web of life. Chapter 5. Sharing wisdom. Humble-eyed monk reminded me, wisdom is a gift meant to be shared, not as arrogance, but as gentle guidance. By sharing your insights with humility, you inspire others to awaken their own inner light. Let wisdom be your compass, guiding you with clarity and kindness. As you walk this final chapter of your journey, sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect. Now, what lessons has life taught you recently? How can you deepen your trust in your own inner wisdom? In what ways can your compassion shape your choices? Allow these reflections to illuminate your path. Next, we will explore the unfolding of surrender and trust as the foundation of your last life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, I walk in wisdom like if you seek to live with deeper insights. Subscribe to continue this journey of awakening. Share to inspire others on their path. Until next time, may your wisdom shine bright and your heart lead you gently forward. Welcome, dear soul, to this sacred moment as our journey unfolds. We now explore a profound truth, the power of surrender and trust. Chapter 1. The art of surrender. In your last life cycle, surrender is not a sign of weakness, but the greatest strength you can embody. The monk would remind me, to surrender is to release the grip of control and open the heart to life's flow. It is the letting go of resistance and the embracing of what is. Chapter 2. Trusting the divine flow. Trust becomes your anchor amid uncertainty. Trust that the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, guides your steps even when the path is unseen. The monk shared a story of a river that flows tirelessly, not worrying about where it will end, yet always arriving where it needs to be. Chapter 3. Releasing the need to control outcomes. In this cycle, you learn that trying to control every detail leads to frustration and suffering. The monk taught, control is an illusion, surrender is liberation. When you release the need to force outcomes, you open space for miracles and unexpected blessings. Chapter 4. Embracing uncertainty with courage. Surrender does not mean passivity. It requires courage to face the unknown with an open heart. It is the brave acceptance that life's mysteries unfold in their own time. The monk often said, courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. Chapter 5. Living in the present moment. Surrender invites you into the present, where trust naturally grows. When you stop resisting, you find peace in the here and now, the only moment truly Within your power, this presence becomes your sanctuary and source of strength. May you learn the sacred art of surrender and trust the unfolding of your journey step by step, breath by breath. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect now. What parts of your life are you holding too tightly? How might surrender bring peace to those areas? Where can you cultivate greater trust in your path? Let these reflections open your heart to freedom. Next, we will explore the blossoming of gratitude as a transformative force in your last life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, I choose to surrender. Like if you are ready to trust life's flow. Subscribe to continue walking this sacred path. Share to inspire others to release and trust. Until next time, may surrender bring you peace and trust guide your way. Welcome once again, dear traveler. As we approach the heart of this sacred journey, we turn our attention now to the transformative power of gratitude. Chapter 1: Gratitude as the key to abundance. In your final life cycle, gratitude blossoms not just as a feeling but as a way of being. The monk reminds us, gratitude is the soul's way of saying yes to life in all its fullness. It unlocks the door to abundance, not just of possessions, but of joy, peace, and connection. Chapter 2: Recognizing the gift in every moment. Heaven in hardship, there lies a hidden blessing, waiting to be seen through the lens of gratitude. The monk shared a story of a farmer who lost his crops yet found rich soil beneath, which later yielded a more bountiful harvest. This teaches us that every experience, pleasant or painful, is a gift that nourishes our soul's growth. Chapter 3: Cultivating a daily practice of thanks. Gratitude flourishes when tended like a garden. The monk encouraged simple acts: a morning prayer, a mindful breath, a whispered thank you for the small wonders. These daily rituals create a steady current of appreciation, carrying you through even the toughest days. Chapter 4: Gratitude deepens connection. Gratitude opens the heart to others, strengthening bonds and healing divisions. When you recognize the light in another, gratitude becomes a bridge, a sacred thread weaving humanity together. The monk often said, gratitude transforms loneliness into belonging. Chapter 5: Living as a beacon of thanks. Your gratitude shines as a quiet beacon, inspiring others to awaken their own hearts. By living with an attitude of thanks, you become a living prayer, a reflection of the divine's abundance. May your heart overflow with gratitude, and may this practice illuminate your path, making every moment sacred. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect now. What can you be grateful for today? Even if small, how can gratitude shift your perspective on challenges? In what ways can you share your thanks with others? Let your reflections nurture a deep wellspring of gratitude within. Next, we will explore how embracing forgiveness completes the healing journey of your last life cycle. Reflect and engage. Comment, I live in gratitude. Like if gratitude fills your heart today, subscribe to continue walking this path of awakening. Share to spread the light of thankfulness. Until next time, may gratitude fill your days and your heart forever sing in thanks. Welcome back, beloved soul. As our journey nears its sacred completion, we now turn to a powerful and healing truth: the transformative grace of forgiveness. Chapter 1: Forgiveness, the final key to freedom in your last life cycle. Forgiveness is the sacred weight that releases the burdens of the past. The monk often said, to forgive is to liberate the heart from chains of bitterness. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or condoning harm, but about freeing yourself to walk forward unburdened. Chapter 2: Forgiving others and yourself. True forgiveness flows both ways: toward others and, just as importantly, toward yourself. The monk shared a story of a traveler who carried a heavy stone of resentment, only to find peace when they gently laid it down. Self-forgiveness heals wounds often hidden deep within, allowing you to reclaim your inner light. Chapter 3: Letting go of judgment. Judgment binds us in cycles of pain and separation. The monk taught, release judgment as you would release a thorn from your foot, with care, but without hesitation. When you soften your gaze and open to compassion, healing naturally arises. Chapter 4: Forgiveness as a path to wholeness. Forgiveness restores harmony within, reuniting fractured parts of your soul. In this last cycle, you are called to embrace wholeness, to heal old wounds, and to honor every part of your journey. The monk reminded me, the healed heart shines with the brightest light. Chapter 5: Embracing peace through forgiveness. Forgives plants the seed of lasting peace, allowing your spirit to rest in gentle stillness. This peace is a sacred gift, a balm to the soul, and the true essence of your final life cycle. May you find the courage to forgive deeply, to yourself and to all who have crossed your path. And in that courage, may you find your freedom. Sacred reflection. Before we pause, reflect now. Who in your life might you be ready to forgive? What judgments are you prepared to release? How might forgiveness transform your heart and your path? Let your heart open to healing's gentle touch. Next, we will bring all these sacred lessons together in a powerful conclusion, an invitation to live fully awakened, mindful, and free. Reflect and engage. Comment, I choose forgiveness. Like if your heart feels ready to forgive, subscribe, and hit the bell for the final sacred message shared to inspire healing and peace in others. Until next time, may forgiveness bring you peace, and may your spirit soar in freedom. Welcome, dear soul. We have walked a sacred path together through signs, lessons, and reflections that illuminate your last life cycle, a journey of awakening, growth, and profound transformation. Chapter 1: Embracing Your Sacred Journey. Signs Edgar Cayce revealed are not to bring fear, but to inspire clarity, a sacred invitation to live fully awake. The monk gently reminds us, this life is a precious gift, your final chapter to write with love, wisdom, and grace. Every moment, every breath is an opportunity to step deeper into your truth. Chapter 2: Integrating wisdom into daily life through mindfulness, gratitude, forgiveness, and love. You cultivate a heart that shines with radiant peace. The monk shares, living consciously is the greatest service you offer yourself and the world. When you align with these truths, your life becomes a beacon of hope and healing. Chapter 3: Living with Purpose and Presence. In this last cycle, presence is your greatest power. The monk encourages, let go of distractions and fears. Be fully here, fully now. Presence awakens the soul to its deepest desires, to love, to connect, to grow. Chapter 4: A Call to Compassionate Action. Your awakening is not just for you, but for all beings who share this journey. Compassion flows naturally from a heart at peace, guiding you to act with kindness and courage. The monk's final teaching: to heal the world, start with your own heart. Chapter 5: A Blessing for Your Path. May your path be blessed with clarity and courage. May your heart be open to love's infinite power, and may your spirit find rest in the sacred now. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Remember, you are never alone. The light of wisdom and love lives within you always. Final reflection: take a moment now to breathe deeply. Feel the presence of your own sacred being. What will you choose today to honor this precious life? How will you carry this awakening forward? If this journey touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to join us in more sacred teachings. Comment below your reflections. What sign resonates with you most? Let us grow and heal together. May peace and light guide you always.